Welcome everybody back to the Nemesis Gaming League, and it's grand finals time. And in the Novice League, grand finals has been so exciting every single year, and this year is no exception. Frost taking on Diffusion in an absolute barn burner. It should be an amazing matchup, and I'm joined by the commissioner of the league, the finest management member, Rockerman. How you doing?
Thank you for the great introduction, Gallium. I am glad to be here. Got the burgers out for your gambits, I see. You love to see it. Congratulations, by the way, taking down my uprising. We had some rivalry now, but now we're all good. The rivalry has concluded. So now we get to share the boot together, and we get to cast the Novice League Grand Finals, which, ooh boy, they are looking spicy. Your Frost versus Diffusion. I'm loving this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a great matchup. Both, it's been just kind of like opposite stories on either side. Frost, they had an easy way to this point. I mean, they only lost one game this postseason, but Diffusion, they came from the play-ins, they swept in the play-ins, and they took on a Kiwis team and they swept them. And that acceleration game, if you haven't watched it, please go back and watch it. Game 7, overtime. It was a 5-minute overtime, and Halo Boys puts it in the back of the net. What a game. I can't even express how excited I was. But now they have to face a Frost team. This is the best team they're going to face all season. I'm just saying it now. It's just a matter of how they can handle it and adapt to this very dominant Frost team.
Yeah, definitely the team to watch out for is Frost. Obviously, the best team all season thus far. And I'm gonna pull up the bracket here quickly so you guys can kind of see that Frost made that run all the way through. Like Galen mentioned, only dropping one game to the Wisps in their semifinal matchup. Diffusion, on the other hand, that Game 7 thriller. So it's gonna be a spicy one here in the Novice League Grand Finals. We both made our predictions on the pre-show. I had Diffusion in 7. Personally, I think the underdog story. I love a good underdog story, Gallium, and we need one here. We need Kyle and the boys. I think they have the ice in the veins. They just do whatever it takes to win, and I love that type of team. Team that'll do anything, no matter what, to get the job done. And I think they may be able to pull off the upset tonight.
Right quickly before we go into this match, because both teams are in the lobby and they're ready to get this action underway. Diffusion kind of reminds me of my Season 7 team. You have Kyle at Mechanical Beast, and they kind of remind me of myself when I was in that Season 7 run. But the only difference is I didn't have to play a team like Frost in the Grand Finals. Whelps were a good team, but Frost is at a whole nother level. So we see if they can handle it, as both teams are about to hop in this lobby. Rockerman, you got a Grand Finals prediction for us?
Well, again, like I mentioned, I got Diffusion in 7. I think they can do it. I think the upset can happen. They just got to come out strong with the mental. It's got to be this game 1. If you are the underdogs here in this Grand Finals in the Novice League, you got to come out strong with that game 1 victory. Otherwise, you're not really going to do much. Frost is just kind of going to run away with things. But if you hit him in the mouth here early, Gallium, you can definitely have a good shot as they try to slide one through here. But again, yeah, I've got Diffusion in 7, but they got to start out strong first.
I mean, in recent memory, we've had very good Novice League Grand Finals. I mean, last season, 2 mechanical teams similar to this one went head-to-head, and that one was exciting. Sage on the winning side of that one. But now we have Dan, a fellow GM, trying to win Frost their first chip since, I believe, last season with the Wolfpack. So we'll see if he can't get his Novice team a chip as the ball falls right to C-Ben. Last time Frost had a chip was Season 5. Ball is popped up. Chad makes a nice touch. Diffusion, to my knowledge, has never won a Novice League Championship or even made it to this point. So we'll see how they respond, but Dan making it not look easy for them so far.
Yeah, they have not won a championship. They've actually never been in the Grand Finals before, and for a lot of these guys, it's their first experience, and first experience is getting scored on by Dan 52 seconds in, and that's a tough one to take on the first goal. But you got to break through these nerves. That's something that we didn't really talk about in the last Grand Finals matchup that we saw, but there are definitely some nerves for all these players. Even if you've been in a Grand Finals before, Gallium, the nerves are definitely there. And now what a shot worth it, but Dan is just gonna make the same. Kyle now sending it high, opportunity, but not quite gonna go on target. But yeah, Gallium, all these players here, both these teams got to work through those nerves if they're gonna want to win this Grand Finals for sure.
I think for Frost, oh my goodness, that almost went in the back of the net. For Frost, they're going to have to win as many games as they can before Kyle starts to warm up and settle his nerves. You can tell he's a little nervous right now. He's missing some key touches, missing some shots. This Lasagna Man not going to miss that one. And Frost, they're on a roll.
And Lasagna Man, part of that Wolfpack team you mentioned, winning the championship provisional last season. Chad just throws it up, and Dan just give a little 1-2 the Halo Boys in the net, pushing them right out of the way. And another goal for Frost to start things off. And Yeah, they're doing what they have to do to start here. Diffusion, I gotta find a way to respond. And oh,
Oh,
respond they do.
wow, what a goal. Off rip by Halo Boys, one of the most slept on players in Novice, in my opinion. Gets it done. Wow, what a kickoff. And he's going to send that one right back towards the net. I mean, hey, he'll take it any time of the day. You got to really make sure you don't get scored on off of those kickoffs. And Frost, they were a victim of that there, Rockerman.
Yeah, and that's, Diffusion, that is a big confidence booster. Like we mentioned, they are the underdogs here in this one. Obviously, I'm sure they don't feel like the underdogs, but, for a lot of people, they are the underdogs, and seed-wise, they definitely are. So to get that first one in the back of the net, that's going to give them some confidence to play a little bit looser, a little bit more confident here in themselves, and give them an opportunity to really kind of take it to this Frost squad. We'll see to see if they can continue it through the rest of this game one and throughout the series.
Yeah, we'll see indeed as Lasagna Man having a nice opportunity. Is it Chad? Not going to quite capitalize off of that shot. Kyle going to give it down to Dan, who pops it high. Lasagna Man's going to wait for that one. Halo Boys gives it up to Seaben. Seaben with a nice touch, but unfortunately no follow-up for them. Oh my goodness, what a passing play. Kyle can't get on the good side of it, and that's what I'm talking about with Kyle. You can tell he's a little nervous, and he feels like all the weight is on his shoulders right now, and that's not what you want. You have two very capable teammates, and who, in my opinion, are playing very well right now, but Kyle just has to lock in for this Diffusion team. Dan, so far, I mean, he's been slept on all season long, but he's been having a great playoff run. Is a Chad. This is, I believe, his first grand finals ever, so he's definitely a little nervous at this point. I mean, there's so many storylines with both of these teams. It's really too hard to pick which storyline's is best. As wait a second, is it Chad? Bottom right, and the party is just starting.
Yeah, it is a Chad here. He was an all-star last season, but you're right. This first ever grand finals appearance for him, and just a snipe there, catching Diffusion out a little bit from the net and able to put it back in, and that's exactly what you want to see from him. Getting himself on the board at 3-1 now in favor of Frost.
Man, what a great start for Frost. Now, will Diffusion respond? I mean, at this point, Lasagna Man, wait a second. Hold on. Kyle with a shot. Gonna slot in the back of the net, and we have a one-goal game.
And Kyle able to put this one through. And you mentioned wanting to see from Kyle is a big whiff in the midfield comes through. And, I'm sure Kyle does feel that weight. And it's one of those things, Gallium, when you have a roster that is, primarily you got one hard carry and the rest kind of support. But you mentioned it. You got to trust in your teammates to be in this one and have confidence in them, because Halo Boys is a great player as well. And so is his other teammate in Seamen. But that one, they're going to want that one back so close off the crossbar. But, you got it. We love from Diffusion here, Gallium, is they are getting their chances. And, it's not like Frost is stomping all over them. Diffusion very easily could have tied the game up right there.
Yeah, Diffusion looking much better than they did the beginning portion of this game. Lasagna Man beating out one. Lasagna Man, you mentioned it, came off of a championship victory. So he is very, very comfortable with winning. And in a reverse sweep fashion, you have to basically gather from that he is a clutch player. And I've never seen him miss an opportunity. I'm not going to lie to you. As Kyle just barely misses this, but it was blocked by Izichad. Dan up with Izichad. Izichad, he's going to find a touch over Halo Boys. Kyle going to get dunked out by Izichad, and Lasagna Man going to wait for this touch. Tries to find it, but whoa, going to be sent towards the net. Dan going to have to respond with that one. Izichad now sends it down into the midfield. Wait, this ball is bouncing. Izichad can't jump up again. Instead, Kyle gives it over to Dan. Dan with the shot. Can't quite place it. Now Kyle with 24 boost. What can he do? He gets popped up towards the ceiling. Izichad now with the touch. He's going to go up. Can he make a play over Seaben? No, he cannot. Ball floating in the Diffusion zone. Dan makes one miss. Kyle, what a save. The speed from him was insane, but Diffusion, they still got to get a goal here. Can they do it? Seaben takes out his touch. Lasagna Man doing the same. Izichad gets a pop down. Kyle sends it off the sidewall. Dan back down, but this could be a massive clear, and it is going to be Halo Boys. Oh my goodness, he gets an amazing touch. Kyle now has to be up for it. He will. Dan can't quite find that one. 10 seconds left. Can Diffusion tie this one up and send this one overtime? Seaben across the net. Nobody's there for the shot. 4 seconds left. Izichad gonna 50 it out with Halo Boys. The ball is not yet on the ground, and it's about to be Frost. Gonna take game number 1, and what a start for them.
Yeah, huge start there for Frost, but honestly, they got 3 quick goals early, and then they just kind of coasted. And, maybe they coasted a little bit too much. They allowed Diffusion to get some pressure there, Gallium. And, I like what I saw from Diffusion in that game, but obviously Frost, they did exactly what they needed to do, get that early lead and then just hold on and stay strong. And, that's all they had to do. And, heading into this game number 2, Gallium now, I am very curious to see if Frost has that same offensive outburst, early, or if Diffusion maybe has that momentum, which they seem to have, for towards the end of that game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, of course. Diffusion put on a heck of a show. I mean, towards the end, it's exactly as I mentioned. I mean, you have to let them warm up, and this is the grand finals. Everything is on the line, and they were a little nervous to start things off. But Frost, they shut them down. They shut them down early on, and they kind of parked the bus. And that's exactly what you need to do against this Diffusion team. You need to stop them exactly in their tracks, and you cannot let them pop the ball up high because they are exceptional in the air, Rockerman.
Yeah, they're definitely exceptional in the air, and the mechanics, they are at an all-time high for the Novice League. We haven't seen so many mechanics, just with the raised MMRs of Novice League this season, going all the way up there to what is Novice up to at this point, Galen? I always forget.
I think it's like 1380s.
Yeah,
I think
it's like 1391 or something. And Kyle is gonna start it out big here with the big goal here, and Diffusion kind of picking up where they left off with some great offensive pressure and a huge demo that opens things up. And of course, Kyle, the shooter, gonna put in the bottom of the net.
What a play from Diffusion to get this offense rolling, and an amazing demo. We didn't see a whole lot of demos from Diffusion in that semifinals game or even in the quarterfinals. There wasn't as many demos as I believe that we're going to see in this matchup, but time will only tell as Lasagna Man gives it down to Dan. He can't quite find a touch. Halo Boys sends it out to the sidewall. Frost has had a rich history of making it comfortably into the playoffs and choking in semifinals. Now that they're in the finals, can they win their first championship since season 5? Dan was like, you know what? I'm sick of all these first round playoff losses. I'm just going to come in here and do it myself. And that's exactly what he's doing here. Is wait a second. Almost an interesting play going out. Kyle with a nice bang. Seaben to follow. Seaben! Oh, almost got to it. Dan with the response. But wait, this net is open, but he doesn't get a favorable first touch. Instead flicks it. Kyle with a nice save. Izachat sends it down. Halo Boys up to get that one. Get a great save from him. Dan now with an opportunity. He's going to 50 out one. Fakes out another. The ball is up high. Seaben. Nice first touch. Can he find a second? He does. Izachat. Can't quite find that one. Dan. Down to Lasagna Man. Lasagna Man. Off the backboard is Dan once more. He has a whole lot of boost, but he fakes like he doesn't. But that's a bad play because Halo Boys absolutely rifles that one in the back of the net.
Oh my goodness, how fast is that? 91 miles an hour, Gallium. It's a pinch that comes through. My goodness, an absolute screamer. Good luck and good night. 2-0 now for Diffusion. Way to battle back in this game too.
Man, great battle back from Diffusion, and maybe they have a little bit more grit than I thought they did. I mean, you take Acceleration to a game 7, and it looks like Acceleration was outplaying them the whole match, but they took it at the end of the day. I had some doubts and concerns about Diffusion, but so far they're playing like the better team in this series overall. I will say is Izachat needs to start cooking up early on. I believe that him and Kyle have similar play styles. Izachat has been on Frost for this is his 2nd season, so we'll see if he can't do a whole lot of work here. Seaben pops it to the backboard. Lasagna Man gonna fake out his touch. Lasagna Man pops it high. Dan gonna be slow to get that one, and Seaben's gonna beat him out. Seaben with a nice double. It's not gonna do much. Halo over to Dan. Dan gives it down to Kyle. Kyle with one. Can't find a second. Lasagna Man bailing out Dan, who Dan's having a little bit of, he's struggling a little bit, but wait a second. The struggles might be alleviated with that great pass, and it's another caster's curse, Rockerman.
Yeah, caster's curse. Seaben gets the touch here, and Dan just quick enough to get it by 2 defenders. Very easy for Izachat. Just got to shoot it right at the open net. He knocks that in every day of the week, especially Saturdays here in the grand finals as he puts it home. And yeah, Dan does seem to be, he does seem to have the mechanics. I wonder, if it's the nerves, maybe a little bit here, maybe the pressure of knowing, that you're the last hope for your org. He's telling me earlier, Gallium, that I think he's had a championship every season since season 5, either as a GM or as a player. So I think that was the Blizzard 3-peat, and then Frost has been big as well for them during this time. And oh, wait a minute, a little bit of a struggle here as Kyle, he wants to get a championship for his org, the first ever, and Kyle is just really, showing why he is the it factor.
Wow, what a great play. Lasagna Man unfortunately missing his touch. Izachat too slow to get to that one. And now that Kyle has confidence, Frost, you really have to look out here. How do they respond? In my opinion, I don't think Frost has gone against as good of a team as Diffusion, and it hasn't even been any really that close. Aurora, I'm not gonna lie, was kind of a pushover. Wisps, they did not have any semblance of rotations. And, you know, honestly, this Diffusion team, they're looking much better than I think they have in the past playoff games as well. So, I mean, if Frost don't do anything quickly, this could get out of hand soon.
Yeah, it very well could, and that's the one thing you can't underestimate anyone, Gallium. Even though it's the grand finals here, you gotta play to your strength. You gotta take every opponent as if they're the best opponent you played yet this season. Is a shot gonna go towards the net, but not quite placed well enough. And you know, there's a reason, Gallium, that these guys made the grand finals. They didn't just get here because they got lucky. They absolutely earned it. We saw them earn it in that 7-game series in the semifinals against Acceleration, that crazy OT. So, you know, you can't sleep on them, and maybe Frost just sleeping just a little bit here, allowing Diffusion to get back in this game and possibly take this one if they can hold it for the next minute or so.
We'll see, as Diffusion has struggled holding leads in past playoff games, but it's not looking like it's the case here. They're playing solid defense. That's something that was a little bit worrying to me is, you know, they didn't play great defense, but wait, C-Ben with an amazing pop. Nobody there to find it, but wait, they rushed back, and now Kyle has a little bit of time. He's going to get one. Oh, how did he get a second? No way he gets a third. Oh, my goodness. That would have been a highlight reel play, but wait a second. A beautiful shot. The dunk's not going to go. C-Ben, he can't finish it off, and Diffusion firing on all cylinders right now. Kyle is up with the ball. He has plenty of boost. Oh, no, Dan, wow. What a squishy save from Dan. Amazing defensive poise, but wait, another backboard read, and C-Ben is going to find that one. The plaid car doing wonders for this Diffusion team.
And Diffusion is just all over. Look at how Frost, they're just waiting, just no boost, just so passive right there. And Diffusion, they look like the 1 seed right here. They look like they have switched the tide completely here in their favor. And a 4-1 lead, Gallium. They are looking so good. The rotations look on. The shooting looks on now. Maybe they just needed that game 1 to get the nerves through and put a little pressure to Frost.
Yeah, we'll see. Is Frost, this is the most pressure I think they've had all playoffs, and they haven't really been adapting to it too well as Kyle takes it past Dan. Chad gets one. Can he get a second? No, not quite. Dan fakes it out. Kyle tries to get a touch, and now it's going to go down to Chad. Oh, this ball's still floating. Dan with the shot. Not going to be on target as Diffusion take game number 2 in very dominant fashion.
Yeah, it was dominant. They just kind of took it to Frost there. You see, the shots actually may have went in Frost's favor, but I feel like the shots that they did have, Gallium, they were not threatening. And Diffusion, every shot that they put on was a threat. It made him try to make a save. It made him, you know, jump. It made him use boost. And that's what you got to do. You need the threatening shots. You don't need shots that are, oh, I'm just going to roll that at the net. It counts as a shot. You know, when people say, oh, just get more shots, the other team, put the pressure on them. You have to put good shots. You can't just roll them at the net. And Diffusion, they did not roll them at the net, Gallium. They put some power shots on. We saw that 91-mile-an-hour goal that they had to give them the lead there. And, I mean, man, they looked very solid. But, again, Gallium, in a best of 7, it's all about how do you respond? How do you keep that going into this game number 3? Can Diffusion keep it going? You know, there's a reason Frost was 15-3 in the regular season, Gallium. It's because they were so much more consistent than everyone else. And there's a reason why Diffusion was stuck in the play-in tournament. They weren't as consistent. But, you know, now in this series, the biggest series that you've probably ever played here, you got to find that consistency. You got to find a way to lock in and lead your team here to another win.
You know, back when I was Firestorm AGM, Frost actually lost to Ignite, who is not a very good team at the time, but they did have Maki, and Maki plays kind of like Kyle, where he's very mechanical, whoa, and he had a good supporting cast, and it's kind of similar, honestly. And I think Frost's biggest issue in that game was just the amount of pressure that Ignite put on them. And now Diffusion's doing the same exact thing, and it's working out well for them. Halo Boy's up with the ball. He can't find it. Instead, it's going to be a counterattack the other way. Ben almost makes a little bit of a mistouch there, but Dan, he's going to get a nice touch himself. Sends it out high. Dan pops it up. Oh, Halo Boys can't quite get to that one. Lasagna Man pops it down. C-Ben and Kyle going to double commit out there. Dan pops it to the sidewall. Dan versus Halo Boys. Halo Boys is going to be just quicker to that ball. Halo Boys now up the sidewall. Going to try to read Lasagna Man. Lasagna Man had a little bit of an unfortunate touch. Halo Boys following that one up, and ball is just floating. Dan with a nice redirect down. Lasagna Man with the shot. Ooh, this is some Frost passing plays that I haven't seen this entire series so far, but now that it's happening, I mean, they've definitely got something cooking up now.
Yeah, I think they're trying to find these passing plays. That was the first real semblance, but earlier we saw him double committing again still, and it's been the rotations that have been a little bit flawed for Frost. But yeah, if they can find those passing plays, I think they are definitely going to be in this series and definitely, probably leaning towards the favorites. But I think Diffusion has done such a good job being solid on defense that,
Ooh.
oh my gosh, it's been so dangerous for Frost. And 2 minutes have gone by here. We're still scoreless. Both these teams had a couple of good opportunities, but I think they both understand here, Gallium, how important it is, especially I think for both these teams. Diffusion, you win this game, you kind of solidify yourself as, hey, we're here to play. We may be the 7 seed, but we can take it to you, win 2 games in a row. And for Frost, it's a good answer back if they can lock this one down and say, hey, maybe hit us in the mouth a little bit, but, we're the 1 seed. We can prove it here. But, halfway through, both these teams still knotted at zeros.
Yeah. I mean, it's not something that I really expected. Both offenses were firing in game 2, and now it's just kind of a little bit of a stalemate. So we'll see if Kyle can't make a play. He has the sidewall to his advantage. He'll take a nice little pop shot towards the net, but Halo Boy is going to be there on the turn. He's going to send it off the backboard. Nobody there for Frost, and that's just an easy goal. And it's the same issues we keep harping on, Rocker Man, and Frost keep making mistakes.
Where is the backboard defense right here? You see Dan try to jump up, but no boost, and all 3 Frost members are sitting in the net there. You got to get someone up. You got to get someone to challenge that backboard there. And, Seaben, you're going to put it in the back of the net, an absolutely massive goal, and showing why Diffusion, they are a scary, scary team.
Scary indeed, and this series could get the distance if both these teams just fix minor mistakes. Diffusion obviously playing like the better team, but that doesn't mean they're not making any mistakes. Is almost a shot on target there. Halo Boys over to Kyle. Seaben with the turn, but Halo Boys gets right in front of him. Those are the mistakes from Diffusion that I'm talking about. And I feel like that's pretty typical in Novice with the double commits sometimes. Just a little unfortunate as Dan sends it up high. Lasagna Man with the touchdown to Dan. Dan gonna send it down, and that's a beautiful passing play to get Frost right back into this one, Rocker Man.
Yeah, that is a beautiful little passing play right there. You see Lasagna Man, and there's the backboard defense we were talking about. And Dan, it would be out the last defender. And that's what backboard defense can do for you, Gallium. You get a clear out, get a banger clear, find a teammate on the outlet, and send it into the net and catch Diffusion a little bit off and, beat him kind of, you catch him out of rotation there.
Yeah, definitely catching them out on some rotations. I feel like Diffusion, they've put together goals that have been just much better than Frost's goals. I just feel like Frost's goals have been just kind of exploiting the Diffusion mistakes, which is good, but they need to generate some goals that kind of scare Diffusion into stopping their offensive momentum. And this might be a goal here as Lasagna Man, he almost eat out one. Instead, it's going to be sent down. Is it Chad? Sends it to the sidewall. Halo Boys almost with a shot. Instead, it's popped up high. Lasagna sends it down. Dan with the touch back to Chad. Chad can't find that one. Dan taking a shot. Not going to be on target. Instead, he's going to go for the demo. A little bit more physical from Frost. Lasagna added the shot. Oh, a little almost unfortunate from Halo Boys, but Seaben going to bail him out. Halo Boys going to get a nice touch. And now it's just Diffusion on the back foot. Frost have put down their foot into this game number 3. And how can they respond? It's Chad up high. Can he get a second? He's going to let it just be shot down. Dan over to Lasagna Man. Lasagna Man down to Dan. Whoa! Frost, they're looking much better than Diffusion in the latter half of this game. We'll see if it continues as Seaben takes it. Off the backboard it goes, but wait! A Frost mistake on the defense leads to a Diffusion goal.
And I was just about to compliment Frost here. They just played so much faster and were up for every ball, but Chad maybe faked out by Seaben and just enough pace to put that one in the back of the net by Kyle. Absolutely massive goal for Diffusion as they look to take a 2-1 series lead.
Yeah, you definitely want to have a lead against the number 1 seed in Novice. That is something that is so crucial. You got to establish momentum, establish that you deserve to be here, and scare Frost a little bit. As Lasagna Man, he's going to take a touch. Going to be sent over to the side. Dan with one more. Off the ceiling it goes. Halo Boys can't find that touch. Said it's Kyle. Over to Seaben. Is it Chad? Oh, he can't find the shot. And Diffusion going to take a 2-1 lead in the series.
Yeah, Diffusion just locked it down there. They did what they had to do at the end of that game. And I mean, really, I'm actually surprised by that. The shot totals again, Gallium there. It's 8-3 in favor of Frost. And, if you would ask me, I would have thought Diffusion, they had the majority of the pressure at the beginning. Obviously, Frost put on a little bit of a clinic towards the end. But again, I mean, Diffusion, Gallium, They just look it just looks like their rotations are a little more solid, and it looks like at least at the beginning of this game they caught Frost out just being slow. And I think Frost, they kind of picked it up a little bit in the middle of that game, where they were being a lot faster. And I think if they're going to win, they got to be the faster team, they got to be the more mechanical team. As a whole, I think they are, but can they channel that? Can they consistently do that? Do they have the confidence to do that? I don't know if they do right now. Diffusion is kind of throwing a big punch here, and Gallium, heading into game number 4, Diffusion could go up 3-1 in this series, 1 win away from a championship. And Frost, they got to be thinking about this one. I know they're taking their time to talk this one over a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. You want to take as much time as you can, try to game plan around this Diffusion team who's looked very good in these past 2 games. Now, for Frost, it's just been the mistakes. And I feel like that's typical of honestly any league. Just limiting your mistakes makes you the better team. And I think Diffusion has done that better than Frost here. And I mean, for Frost, now it's now or never. You have to win this game. You do not want to go down 3-1 in a series, because this is the first time they've ever gone down 3-1 in the series in this season, as Halo Boys gonna find the back of the net. It's not looking good for Frost early.
It is not looking good for Frost, and it's all set up by Kyle. Just the power to get that one through, and Halo going for the low 50. It would put in the back of that. Diffusion is just in their heads right now, Gallium. And I mean, man, I am very impressed. I picked Diffusion to win, Gallium, but right now they are looking very impressive here in these last couple games. After dropping that game number 1, to come strong in those next 2 games and looking solid to start this one. It's so impressive as that one. Oh my goodness, almost went on. But again, I think you mentioned it. It has been a lot of Frost mistakes. Frost just uncharacteristically slow and missing a couple touches. Oh my goodness. Kyle, he's going to go for the highlight reel play, but can't get it that time.
Man, that was very close. Kyle, he's feeling confident now, but wait a second, that confidence is a little misleading, as Chad kind of had an open net. I'm surprised he didn't take the shot. C-Ben getting in a nice 50. Dan now off the sidewall over to Kyle. Kyle is going to get it past one. Get it past almost a second. Actually, Lasagna Man's going to leave it. Oh, C-Ben almost finds the back of the net, but Lasagna Man almost having a counterattack opportunity. Going to try to bump out Kyle. It's not going to go. Dan with that shot. Almost a slaughter, but wait. It's going to be sent down towards the other end. Izzachat has to get a touch, and he will. C-Ben and Lasagna Man going to battle it out for this ball. The ball's popped up. Kyle there for that one off the backboard. Going to try to find one more. He doesn't have the boost to do so. Halo Boys sends it high. Can he find one more? Can't really do so. It's Lasagna Man. It's going to get bumped from behind. C-Ben over to Lasagna Man. Rocker Red, I feel like Diffusion just kind of outplaying Frost right now, and it's the same story, just a different game.
I mean, they've just turned the tables from that game number 1, Gallium. They just look so quick. Oh, that's a great pass, but Izzachat just can't get it down enough. Wait a minute, this ball's sent up. Oh, looking for that touch, but not going to find it. But really, Gallium, it's Diffusion. They've met every single ball. Frost has gone up for one, and a Diffusion member is right on top of it pretty much every single time. And that's been the key to success. Do not give Frost space. They're mechanical. They're going to find these bumps and demos. Is this one? Oh my goodness, Halo Boys. An absolutely massive save. And my goodness, Gallium, Diffusion, in the most crucial time, they're playing out of their minds.
An amazing save. I mean, in that moment in time, a counterattack opportunity, but double commit could lead to another counterattack, as I feel like there's been a lot of counterattacks this series. It was a great save and a good shot. I mean, a little bit of a sign that Frost can come back into this one. And oh my goodness, Kyle with a great shot, but an even better save from Lasagna Man. He's probably the most consistent player on this Frost team. Glad he's showing up now. Kyle, touch on the sidewall. Is he going to get one more? He does! Almost a double there. That would have been ridiculous. And Kyle, he's starting to heat up now. As I've mentioned, I mean, Frost, they're kind of on the back foot now. Izzachat, he has to step up. Haven't seen a whole lot from him this series. Dan gets it up high. Izzachat, you have to put this in the back of the net. He's going to get beat out by C-Ben. Kyle, up the sidewall. Lasagna Man's beat out. Now Dan, he's going to fake a touch. A beautiful defensive play. He's going to get it past 2. He's going to find another, sending it down. Doesn't let Lasagna Man go ahead of him. This could be costly, as Halo Boy's going to fake out the ball. Now Dan, he had a solar play opportunity, but banged it down instead. Lasagna Man down the pitch. Dan, he's going to get a good touch. Almost gets an amazing touch over to Lasagna Man. Kyle now up with the ball. Goes for a flip reset. A questionable play, but it works out. Halo Boys off the sidewall. Halo Boys almost having a shot. He gets a nice 50, but why? Oh, Dan almost cost his team a goal there by faking out the ball. That was almost really, really scary.
That was another scary one. And again, Gallium, it's the same thing. Diffusion is just there every single ball, even when you don't think they're going to be there. They have been there in these last couple games. And Frost, they just don't really have an answer. They can't escape this pressure. They can't beat out these defenders. Diffusion has just proven they are the quicker team right now, and it is leading to this 1-0 lead. But can they hang on in the final 60 seconds? Yeah, that is to be determined as they're trying to add another one on the board right here.
Man, what a performance from Diffusion this game. Even though they haven't scored a whole lot of goals, the defense has been exquisite. As Kyle up with one. Gonna try to find a second. He does. Lasagna Man gonna pop it high. Can he get one more touch? A nice 50. Is a Chad with an opportunity. He has to pre-flip into that one. Not fast enough. Halo boys. 1v1 versus Dan. He's gonna get a nice pop up high. Is a Chad gonna have to recover that one. He does nicely, but it's sent over to Kyle. A nice demo onto Kyle. Lasagna Man. Whoa! The bumps and Halo boys. A nice dump out. Dan off the back wall. Wait a second. That 50 is unfortunate, but Izachat is going to make do with that one. Lasagna Man with 17 seconds left. Can he put the goal in the back of the net to not let Frost go down 3-1 in the series? Oh, no. Lasagna Man down the pitch. There's nobody there for Frost. All Diffusion has to do is park the bus. Will they do so? Izachat down to Dan. Dan gets one. The ball is sent off the sidewall. Lasagna Man, he's not going to be able to find the touch, and Frost go down 3-1 in the most shocking series of the day so far, even though we've only had one out of the one.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the most shocking series of the night, even though we've only had one. But I mean, regardless of what happened before or what happens after game, this is so surprising to many people. I would say not to me, but even I'm a little bit surprised. You know, I picked Diffusion again, but I mean, look at them. They turned it on, Gallium. 10 shots to 5 in that last one. And now they are 1 win away from the first ever championship for the Deviation org here. I mean, Gallium, they've been here for seasons. I believe since season 2, the Deviation org existed. They have never won a championship. They've had teams in all leagues, but now 1 win away. And I mean, these Diffusion boys, Gallium, what else can you say about them? I mean, they have just put so much pressure on every single time that Frost is there for a ball. It's just doom. It's just a dunk. It's just a 50. It's just everything you want. And I mean, Frost, they're taking an extra 60 seconds to think it over. And I mean, Gallium, what do you even do? How do you recover from this?
I don't even know. To be honest with you, Diffusion just looking exceptional. I mean, there's not really much you can do except for looking better and just having a better mental. I feel like that's just good enough, honestly. It's just having a good mental and preparing yourself for what's ahead. So we'll see if they can do that. But I mean, Frost, I'm not quite sure why they're losing this. I mean, I had them winning in a sweep because they looked so dominant in those past 2 playoff games, but maybe that's more telling of the other teams that they face rather than their own skill and performance. I feel like they do much worse against a team who has better rotations and keeps on the aggressive state of play. And that's what Diffusion does very well. And we've seen Frost. I mean, I mentioned the Ignite loss earlier this season. It's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's just 2 parallels to this story. And Frost, when they're in dire need most, they're going to need Izachat to step up. Izachat, I mean, he's been in the league for so long, and he's been in the playoffs, I believe, every single season or most seasons, and he's been lost in heartbreaking fashion. This is the chance to change that for Izachat. He has to step up here. I haven't seen a whole lot from him this series. I'm going to need to see something from him now.
Yeah, and honestly, we need to see something from Dan too. And Dan, I feel like he has been playing fast, but you're the leader of this team. You are the GM of this organization. You have to will your boys to battle back in this one. I mean, again, Gallium, there is a reason that they were 15-3 in the regular season. It's no mistake. You don't get to 15-3 just by being lucky. You have to do something to prove it. Right now, they haven't proven it, but we know that they have it in the tank. But after this timeout, you know, are they able to do that? You know, you got to come through with the first goal. If I'm these boys, I'm telling them we're getting this first goal no matter what. Boys in there trying to use Lasagna Man. We're not quite able to go, but you got to go. You got to go quick. You got to get this first goal. Show Diffusion that you're back in the series.
Yeah, definitely. You can see Frost. They're kind of playing a little more aggressive now. It's a little bit of a team bump going out there as Lasagna Man recovers off of that one. Ball sent into the Diffusion backboard. Lasagna Man with a pass. Can anybody find it? Kyle's going to find it. There's a Chad. Going to take his time. Kyle going to dunk him out. Dan off on the back foot. Kyle can't get that touch. It's a Chad. Going to try to find a touch of his own. Can't quite do so. Lasagna Man, last one back. He sends it into the corner. Kyle going to beat him out. Halo boys with one pop. Can he get another? He can't. Lasagna Man on the backboard. C-Ben gonna send it over. Lasagna Man, nice dunk out. And Dan, he's gonna find a touch of his own. Dan, a nice touch back to Lasagna Man. And C-Ben, he has a clear opportunity, maybe even a solo play. Gonna get one. Dan is on the backboard to meet that one. Kyle up for it. Oh, he just barely missed that one. But wait a second, Dan, he doesn't have any boost, but he does have the ball. And I mean, we're 3 minutes and 30 seconds in to this game number 5. And Rockerman, what are your thoughts on both teams?
I mean, right now, oh my gosh, Diffusion, they are still putting on the pressure, but you know, it's Frost. They gotta break through when Diffusion is overcommitting, because Diffusion, they are so fast right now. But you know, when you have a team that's going all offense, you gotta be able to counterattack. And oh my goodness, C-Ben off the pass. What a play!
What an amazing play from C-Ben. And it's the Kyle and C-Ben connection. We've been seeing it all night in the placement. It's just beautiful placement from C-Ben. He's had himself a great playoff performance, and if Diffusion can hang on to this, they might just pull this one out, Rockerman.
I mean, they are looking so good, Gallium. It's hard to say that they can't. But oh my goodness, C-Ben, he almost did it again. It's dropping down. Dan has to make the touch, and he does. And again, you got to step up if you're Frost. You know, you just got to see something. You got to see this bump come through. Oh my goodness, C-Ben. No way.
What a save!
The shot again, though. And again, saved away. My goodness, Gallium. This Diffusion defense, they cannot be stopped.
What? How in the world do you save that? You have to hop over a demo, come down onto the ball, and then save another shot? You are out of this world, my friend. Dan, gonna pop it up, though. Might be another Frost opportunity. Is it, Chad? Sends it down. And what I'm noticing, too, is Frost, they're starting their offensive plays from their own end. You need to get into that Diffusion zone like now. This is your opportunity. Lasagna Man can't find that next touch, but now he does. Dan, with a nice pop-up high. Just a shooting not there for Frost. And that's been a big tail as Chat yet again. Gonna miss another Frost shot, Dan. Off the back where Lasagna Man gonna have to race to get that one. Kyle's gonna beat him out. Just too unfortunate for Frost at this moment. They look lifeless right now. They're starting their offensive plays from their own end. It's just a solo play into 3 Diffusion defenders, and it's just not the formula for success. As Kyle with an insane flick. Chad can't quite find that one. C-Ben. 50's out, Lasagna Man. Dan up high. C-Ben trying to find a touch. He does. Can he find a second? Not going to. Kyle's going to take it from him instead. Lasagna Man back into his own end. No. Kyle with a shot. Dan, a big save to keep his team into this one. Halo boys over to Dan. Dan finding C-Ben. Kyle up top. Kyle with the shot. Placement. Are you kidding me, Kyle?
Kyle is that guy. He wants this championship for Deviation. He wants it for his boys back home, and he's putting it up for 90.
Wow. You know what? I had Frost winning in a sweep. I'm not gonna lie. This is the biggest blunder of my casting career. I am so sorry that I ever doubted Diffusion, as I don't think there's any comeback for Frost. They look lifeless out there so far, as oh my goodness. Ball is being sent back to their own end. Dan, he's gonna have to make a defensive play. Nice touch though. Lasagna Man. Over to Halo Boys. Halo Boys finds Dan. Dan off the backboard. Dan, can he find another? Whoa! Almost finds a highlight reel dunk. Can't quite find that one. Kyle instead gonna send it over. Oh my goodness, Kyle. He has, oh my goodness. Wow, I was at a loss of words there. That he's going off the ceiling. C-Ben up top. Can't find the touch. Instead, it's a Dan clear. Halo Boys, again, just applying so much pressure. Frost, they had to get out of their own zone. Kyle up top. Can he find another? Dan's going to race him for it. Off the ceiling. C-Ben can't find the touch. And it's just been Diffusion pelting Frost so far. I mean, Diffusion, they're having such a good game, and it's not even that far off the shots. It's a 5-4 game shots-wise. Diffusion leading that category. Kyle off the ceiling. Dan's going to find the touch. Halo Boys finds one. Lasagna Man gonna 50 him out. Dan now to the side. Can he find his shot? He does a shot. Kyle with an insane save. 15 seconds left. Kyle over to C-Ben. C-Ben. Can he find one more? He does. What a pop-up high. Kyle to send his team. Oh my goodness. What a save from Dan. Lasagna Man the other way. He has 0 boost though. 3, 2, and 1. Diffusion has shocked the world and has won Deviation, their first championship in Nemesis history.
My goodness, Gallium, that is the upset of the night. It doesn't get any crazier than that. Diffusion, can you believe it?
No. Short and sweet answer, no.
Wow.
How did they just do that? I mean, against a Frost team who looks so great, the games previously, how do you let Diffusion just absolutely? I mean, it wasn't even close. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, some games were close, but Diffusion just looked like the better team through and through. So, wow. I mean, what a great way to cap off this novice season. A lot of bumps, a lot of ups and downs, but Diffusion gonna be the championship at the end of the day, Rocker Man.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Frost, I wanted to bring it up a little bit. I saw it, especially towards the end of this last game, is they were just hitting the ball so light. It was light touch after light touch, and Diffusion, they had the power touches, they had the power shots. I mean, led by Kyle, and I mean, Halo Boys, C-Ben, I mean, they all performed just beautifully. I mean, there's nothing more about it. And Gallium, they become another 7 seed to take a grand finals. I think I wanted to fact check this here because I think they're only the second ever in Nemesis history. They actually are the second ever 7 seed to win a Nemesis championship. And my goodness, did they do it in style? 4-1 victory. That is absolutely crazy.
That's ridiculous. I can't even believe that. What a performance from Diffusion. And they had such a great game plan going in and they executed it to the highest level. So congrats to them and their season. I mean, it's just been such a remarkable run from them. And congrats to just all of them individually. There was not the best player out there. There was not Kyle absolutely dominating Frost. Every player played their best Rocket League there. And honestly, in my opinion, I think Halo Boys actually low key played the best. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Halo Boys fan enjoyer after that one.
I have to agree with you, honestly. I think Halo Boys did look like that guy. Obviously, we know Kyle. He's going to put, those highlight reel performances, those big shots, those, the ceiling shots, the flip resets. He's going to go for him. He's going to put him on net. But I think it was Halo Boys really stepping up. It seemed like every time there was a big goal or another big save, it was Halo Boys on the goal line making something happen. And C-Ben, probably the unsung hero of this one. But I mean, my goodness, congratulations to all those Diffusion boys. Congratulations to BMAR. Congratulations to that Deviation org. It's been a long time coming, Gallium. People have hated on Deviation. They said, wow, this is the worst org in Nemesis history. They've had a couple grand final teams in Distortion back-to-back seasons. The last 2 seasons before this one, they couldn't get it done, but Diffusion, maybe the one people thought the least to get it done, they do it. I mean, big ups to them. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I would be like, yeah, this is the first time tonight we're seeing an org win their first chip, but actually, Rocker Man, this is the
Second.
second time. The second time an org has won their first championship. The chess hall is on the board, ladies and gentlemen. More to come. More to come soon. But hey, we get some great matchups underway. My favorite matchup of the day, and I don't say this lightly, Warhawks versus Banshees. They switched rosters, and now they're going head to head in the grand finals. And this is going to be an absolute barn burner. Can Banshees take down this Warhawks team? He's looked so exceptional all season long, or will Warhawks take them down? Well, recommend. I guess we're going to have to find out. Thank you again for casting. Thank you for streaming as well. It's always nice having you in the booth.
Of course, Gallium, it's always a pleasure, and yeah, I'm excited to see what can happen now. And I did want to bring this up just as a little tidbit. Now it's up to the War Room and Sloth Syndicate, only winless orgs in Nemesis history without a championship. So get on it, boys, for next season. But yeah, going into this next one, Gallium, the storylines, they're immense. These two teams have essentially swapped places. It's crazy. It's a whole loop. They got some rivalries going on. Warhawks Banshees. It's gonna be a good one. So make sure you guys tune in after the quick break. You guys are not gonna want to miss it.
Peace.